You don't need that. All right. Good morning. We are the 2021 Board of Equalization and Review for Union County. We have been appointed by the county commissioners to hear any and all taxpayers with respect to concerns or complaints regarding the evaluation of their property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization and Review have the right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization and Review has been charged with ensuring that the proper legal principles have been applied in evaluation dispute for tax purposes. And the format is as following. The clerk calls the case and locates the property or explains the situation if it's personal property. The appellant presents his or her case. The assessor's office enters defense. Both parties will be given an opportunity to review or conclude their comments. All questions from either party should be directed to the board and to myself. The board will rule on the case or table it and inform the taxpayers when it will be reopened. The taxpayer will be notified in writing of the board's decision. By statute, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate that the assessment is erroneous. I ask you to please silence your cell phones and let's start the proceedings.
Tab number 1, hearing number 1, parcel number 07054-702, Lisa Dunleavy.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you, fine.
Do I need to do anything with this
Beg your pardon?
Bible? Do I have to do anything with the Bible, or can I just?
No.
Okay, I just saw it here. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my appeal case today. I just want to make sure that you guys have some of the attachments I've provided. So the first one being the memo that I'm going to walk through today. The second one being the offer to purchase and contract. The third being the appraisal, and the fourth being the home inspection. Does everyone have those?
So what, the first was the memo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I do.
Yeah. It was this.
Good. Okay. Perfect. So by way of introduction, I am Lisa Dunleavy, the property owner at 5343 Shannamara Drive. And in April 2021, I was informed that Union County assessed the market value of my property at $575,100. However, having purchased the property on June 30th, 2020 at $467,000 with a $7,000 seller concession, and having had the property appraised on June 16th, 2020 at $475,000, I believe the market value assessed by Union County is not reflective of the actual market value and should be adjusted down to $475,000. Additionally, I will provide some other considerations regarding the property's condition that I believe were not reflected in Union County's assessment. So today, first I'm going to walk through the independent appraisal, and then I'm going to go through the purchase price and some market information, and then I'm going to conclude with the additional considerations on the property's condition. So starting with the independent appraisal, an independent property appraisal was conducted on June 16th, 2020. The appraiser conducted both interior and exterior inspections, concluding a valuation of $475,000. Some additional considerations that the inspector had were a negative adjustment compared to the comps due to a lack of golf course views and no interior updates on the property. The second piece is the purchase price and market information. So after being on the market for about 1 month, I bought the property in June 2020 for $467,000 with a $7,000 seller concession. I believe this and the appraisal provide a compelling case for the market value to be at $475,000. Additionally, the prior owners had difficulty selling the home. So the home was initially put on the market in 2018 and did not sell until 2020. I'm just going to walk through a little bit of the timeline there. So the property was originally listed in June 2018 for $489,000. Not selling, the list price was reduced lower a month later to $479,000. After not selling again, it was reduced further to $475,000. It did not sell at $475,000. After not finding a buyer, the owners attempted to rent the property instead of selling it. And then later in May 2020, they put the property back on at $475,000, at which time I had bought it a month later at $467,000 with a $7,000 seller concession. The inability of the prior owners to sell the property for over those 2 years, I believe, is an indication that my purchase price was at a fair market value. The last piece of information are the additional considerations on the property's condition. So I believe the market value should be adjusted down for the following reasons. Lack of any recent interior upgrades or renovations, so no kitchen and no bathroom, etc., no upgrades to the house. Lack of a golf course view, termite shelter tubes in the wall studs of the basement utility closet, spacing between the side of the house and the roof, allowing rodents to get into the attic and walls, a stream crossing the entire lot with rendering a portion of the rear lot unusable, and 2 20-year-old water heaters, which are beyond the average lifespan, one of which already needed to be replaced due to significant leakage in our house, and the other needing to be replaced over the next few months. Just to outline some of the following expenses that have already been incurred on the property. As mentioned, we've already had to replace one of the hot water heaters, and we'll have to replace another one in the next couple of months. We've also had to do HVAC repair, and we've had to spend over $2,500 on wildlife control because there were mice and flying squirrels in the attic, and we had to rodent-proof the entire house. So in conclusion, the property was appraised by an independent appraiser for $475,000. Secondly, the property was on and off the market since 2018, not selling until 2 years later when I bought it on June 30th, 2020 for $467,000 with a $7,000 concession. Both of these, I believe, are strong indicators of the market value. And the final consideration is about the property's condition and some other considerations when looking at the comps that I've shared. So given above information that I've shared today, I believe Union County's assessment of $575,100 is above the true market value and that it should be reduced to $475,000. I will open up to any questions now.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dunleavy.
Thanks.
Ray, you have any?
I don't think I have any good information though.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there is.
Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you, Ms. Dunleavy.
Thanks.
We'll hear from the county now.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
So, just this property is in Shanamara, as Ms. Dunleavy stated. Everything she went through was definitely very thorough. When I was looking at sales out in Shanamara, I used all sales that did not have golf course frontage. So all of them have the rate without the golf course frontage. And the values, a lot of them are selling for $467, $479 for roughly the same square footage without a basement. When we made the adjustment for the basement, it came up to the grid estimate of the $569,900 on the comparable sales. And the biggest difference for this one that I was seeing is in the appraisal that was submitted for the 1,529 square foot basement. The fee appraiser was adjusting around $25 a square foot for that to be finished, and we were adjusting higher than that. So I think the difference is coming up in the basement value for that one. So when we ran the comparable sales report, I just was not able to change the value once our adjustments came through. In the fee appraisal that was submitted, the first 3 comps that were used, None of those had basements, so for the 1,500 square foot basement, they were adjusting about $38,000 for that. The fourth comp that they used, it did have a basement, and their estimate came back on that one for $530,000. So just after running our comparable sales and seeing our adjustments, I was not able to make an adjustment, and I spoke with Ms. Dunleavy that she would need to bring this one just to the board today.
All right, thank you. Ray, any questions for the county?
Yeah, the basement in her house is about 1,500 square feet,
Yes, sir.
so there's $100,000 for the basement.
That's what the tables and the schedule of values is contributing to it.
Is it a finished basement, or,
Yes, sir. The 1,500 square foot portion is finished.
okay, thank you.
Dutch, you got any questions?
No, and then I don't know, I kind of get hung up on the quality or grade are all similar.
Yes, sir. All the comparables that I pulled, they're all the same. They're all the good grade, and some of them were selling for $467 and $479 with similar square footages, and they did not have basements.
And then the next grade quality below good is
Good minus.
good minus. Okay, I'm good.
Mike, you got any questions?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, what we do, we hear each case, and then we'll, in the same order, we'll rule on each case when all the cases have been heard.
Tab number 2, parcel ID number 07054-747, Janet and William Moore.
Good morning, Mr. Moore.
Morning. Take this off?
Absolutely.
May I? I've been stuck twice, so I should
Me
be
too.
good. First thing I want to find out, you all have the appraisal that in my packet. Brent assured me it would be there, but being a bit pessimistic, I brought 8 copies. Y'all have it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then we'll just go to that, because I don't have a lot of, I don't have a long story. It's pretty simple. I had an appraisal done on, if you can see the cover, on November 29th of 2020, 31 days before this date that we're working with, January 1st, 2021. My appraisal came out at $360,000. And I think Brent had me at 378, was it? 378.8 or something? 375. 375, 378. I just feel like the professional guy, the person that looked at the property, evaluated at 360, 30 days prior to this date, I feel like it's greater than what I'm paying now, obviously. But I feel like should be the fair value.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Moore? Ray?
What was that value you said?
$360,000.
That's your,
Is that the appraisal?
Okay.
You have this document in your folder.
Thank you.
It's the, what page? Hang on, I'll get the right page for you. It's on the second page, on the left side. Market value opinion, $360,000, and the date 11/29/2020.
I got it, thank you.
Thank you.
Was this, oh, go ahead, Dutch.
I don't have any questions.
Was this a appraisal that you had prepared in anticipation of a loan, or you just had it prepared as far as the value?
I got my wife and I refinanced the house, and when we did that, we had to close our HELOC down. So I got another HELOC, a home equity line of credit.
Sure.
I don't know if y'all know that language.
Pretty well.
Yeah. So that's the reason we got the appraisal,
Okay,
so that we could
fair enough. So it was,
maximize the amount of money we could get on the HELOC.
yeah, so the bank
Paid for it.
The bank
Yeah.
ordered that, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I probably paid for it at the end, but
No, you did.
that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Anything else?
I appreciate that. Let's hear from the county.
He told me he had his heart right today.
You know,
So this property is located in Shanamar as well. Mr. Moore he did send in the appraisal that he had. And when I ran the comparable sales out in Shanamara, I used 2 of the 3 on the same appraisal that was submitted. The third comp that I used, it was different. The reason I didn't use the exact same one, it was in a different section of Shanamara, and it was just going to be making a lot of adjustments. And as we said, that the total value we have on the property is $375,800. The grid estimate, when we made all the adjustments to the sales, it came back at the $368,600, which is very close to the value that we had on it. So we just did not make a change for that reason.
so 368, 600 is your number.
That's what we ran in the comparable sales report. But the number that we had was the $375,800, that I did not change it. So the number that we left it at was $375,800.
Okay.
Please remember that the CAMA system is our primary method of valuing property, and we run these copper reports as a sanity check in reality, make sure we're in the ballpark.
Right.
They were very similar. We just saw no reason to make a change to our primary means.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Ray, for the county?
No, on the sheet where you got the comps, if you were to go to the moving average, it'd be 368.6, right?
Yes, sir.
So you left it at 375. That's not a heck of a lot of difference. Okay, that's all I have.
I don't have any questions.
Mike? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Robin?
Tab number 3, parcel ID number 05165-036, Glenn Roberts.
Good morning, Mr. Roberts.
Good morning, thanks. Sorry, I'm not real professional.
We aren't either.
So, first, I'd like to recognize, longtime Union County resident. I know we have the best people involved, and I'm sure the appraiser did a good job. And I'm not disputing or discrediting any of the work that was done. I know that they did the very best with what they had and everything. As you can see, my house kind of sucks, and it's in Millbridge. It's a good neighborhood, and the neighbors is what really makes it. I'm kind of poor. I'm like the only one that doesn't have either a basement or back into the creek or a swimming pool or all the other rich stuff that golf carts and whatnot. But the reason my house sucks is mainly the land. If you look at it, it's kind of blurry on the screen, but hopefully your screens are better. But and I took some pictures, but it's just a weird, abnormally shaped situation. It's also down, so all the drainage from like way up the hill, it all just gushes like when it rains. All of that water just, my front yard, backyard is pretty much useless. So I'm sure that all the comps and stuff that real estate people do, it was accurately done per the comps. I'm sure of that. I have no reason to dispute that it wasn't done correctly and professionally. The thing is, though, when you're looking at just those comps, it's missing a couple of things. And I did my best to use your little web tool to, grab stuff. I don't know if I did a good job or not, probably not. But, and so that's what I submitted. But I spoke with someone on the phone. They recommended I take some pictures because I was telling them the story. And so I did last night. I took a couple of pictures of the yard. Main thing here is in the front yard, and you can't see it very well in this picture, but in mine you can. The developer and the builder, they did the best with what they could with this little parcel. It's an abnormally shaped lot, basically a big drainage thing. But the original people that built the house, they backed out of the contract once they saw all the drainage just kind of going straight into the foundation. I saw it as an opportunity. I couldn't afford anything else in Union County, and I needed to be in Union County for my kids to grow up in good schools. So I bit the bullet, and I bought this one because it was at a discount, and those people backed out, so it was like really cheap compared to all the other houses at the time in Millbridge. But what I've got here is a picture I took last night. It shows I've got a big like drainage ditch, storm drain in the front yard, and you can't really get that from comps, but I don't think that some of this was taken into account because it's just mathematically it's hard to understand unless it's like manual work. But this is a big huge pit in my front yard, so my kids can't play in the front yard. It's okay, there's a park, about a mile away, but it basically renders the entire front yard useless, unless you want to risk breaking a leg. And then in the backyard, I think your picture on the screen probably shows it better, but what I'm trying to show here is all the water gushes down, very close to the foundation here of my house. These are the reasons why those people backed out. They ended up buying the other house down in the bottom right where that swimming pool is. They ended up buying that house on the corner. But I wouldn't use that, which did sell and was probably used as I wouldn't use that as, any measure of what my house should be appraised at. But, and then here's just another picture just showing how the berm with all those bushes, it's really a pain in the backside. Maintaining that because the weeds have to be picked, like 3 waves of weeds a year, and I hire teams of people to get up there and do it. It's first of all, the lot is unusable, but it's also negative usable because you have to maintain that or you get an HOA nastygram. I didn't put those into evidence, but I'm better at getting it done now. I know when to expect what, but it's that berm is just the bane of my existence. It serves no useful purpose. Also, I took a picture of, last night I took a picture of the side of the house because you would only get this from the blueprint, but because of the weird shape of the lot, the house literally sits on the property line. So like where my flower bed is, I took a picture. The flower bed is my property line. So first of all, it's abnormally close to the next house. But I don't even own that that grass over there. So those are the considerations that I don't think you get except for manually, and so that's why I came in about it. But again, I'm sure the appraiser did everything by the books as far as the mathematics of considering other properties in the neighborhood and such. So I'm not disputing any of that. I'm really just saying there's some additional considerations that I'd like to bring up for your potential looking through. And maybe the appraiser could look at it as well. Not sure what the process is, but I hope that it could be used for lowering the previously assessed value, which was maybe not considering all of these facts in the original report.
All right, sir. Any questions for Mr. Roberts, Ray?
So you don't have a value in your head at this point? You're you're saying let the county consider what you just said?
Yeah, I'm not really a professional, but yeah, there was a little blank for entering that, and I just put 350 on the low side, just to have something as a backstop. But I would trust the professional opinion of whoever, Dana or whoever. I would trust their professional opinion. If we could if we could just have them review this and then lower it down to what it makes sense. I'm not asking for, anything abnormal or special. I just want to bring this to the attention. I think it will definitely lower the value, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I didn't submit these photos from last night because I had already submitted everything like a couple of months ago. Can I don't know, enter this into the record or give this?
We'll take a look at them. Yes, sir.
All right.
May we keep these?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
During a heavy rain,
Yeah.
does water get up against the house?
Yeah, it does.
Has it done any damage to it?
I don't know. I don't know how to.
Is it on a slab?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
slab foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, what I expect is, first of all my family lives here, extended family. I never want to move until I die, but I think if I ever tried to sell the house, they would specifically hone in on the drainage
Right.
at that area of the house, and they would definitely be inspecting whether there's damage or not. I don't really know how to tell, but I know it'll be a consideration if I ever wanted to sell, and I don't want to sell or
Yeah.
anything.
So it looks like a path kind of in the middle of that berm. Is that where the water drains? Is that a drainage?
That's the main one. There's some other little, especially after they put in that swimming pool up there
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. There's like some other channels, and it kind of creates a couple of snaky little trails in the grass. And then what happens is it goes to the house, but it's trying to get to that storm drain pit in the front yard.
Yeah, which you can see that on the picture here, okay?
Yeah, it's trying to come forward from the top of Millbridge. It's basically a hill at the top of Millbridge
Yeah,
Park.
you can't get an idea how steep that is till you see these pictures.
It's, yeah, the top of the hill is probably like 20 feet or so.
Yeah, so the water comes down that rock, yeah.
Mainly, yeah, most of the water goes through there because they've got a ditch in between their two houses. And then the other two houses, there's another one coming down the other rocks at the corner of the property at the top.
Good, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. And we'll hear from the county.
Good morning.
Mornings.
As Mr. Roberts said, the value, we pulled the comps, the value's there. He's not arguing that. As far as the lot, it is difficult to assess any negative impact based on this. The sales do not support that. So the sales data, even from the beginning when Essex Homes sold that property, we pulled all the surrounding sales that happened during that time, and you have that information. We listed the sales price and the price per square foot, and he was right in line. So even in the beginning, there was no impact that we could see on the value. Same today. The comps that we pulled, all of it supported our value. So my hands were tied as far as being able to lower that. Could not determine any negative impact. And we also, as Mr. Roberts said, we really didn't see any information on damage to the actual structure due to, he just doesn't know. So we didn't have any information on that.
We did revisit the original sales price to see if we could determine an impact at that point. You know, if there was a discount given and we could not determine by that data that there was a discount given on the original sale of the property.
So there wasn't any there's no adjustment made for the drainage in the front?
No, sir.
No.
So the lot, like in a lot of other ones, developments and subdivisions, I mean, he's got the same value on his lot as everybody else has got.
That's correct.
Yeah. And I know we, over the years, have looked at similar issues with drainage and flooding in some of these lots. And I don't know, maybe during deliberation, we can talk about that a little further, you know.
Ray, you have anything?
Yeah, Dutch hit it on my question was, in the normal course of county business, is there adjustments made for this kind of situation? And Dutch, I think you said maybe over the years we have done something.
I remember looking at them, you know, you're looking at them, I can't remember exactly what we've done, but
That's all.
I just take it that the county can't make that adjustment. That's up.
It's going to be a judgment call. We have over the years. And this
Yeah.
one, our judgment was that it's not typically unusual for Millbridge, and we didn't make the adjustment. But obviously, you gentlemen have that option to do so.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Tab number 9, parcel ID number 05186042, Lynn and Scott Herr.
Number 9.
Thank you.
Thank you. Why did Dutch give a color when I did?
You're the chairman. You
All
want
right.
to call.
My ink ran out. Yours looks a little pink because my ink, I think he got the good
Oh,
one.
so you're the one to give me a black and
Yeah,
white.
Ray.
did.
Yeah, Ray-
sorry,
Ray's
our
actually
ink.
better than mine, man. Ray's better than mine.
Ray, okay, Ray, it gets worse coming this way.
I was gonna say, I think he got Mr. Brooks got the color one. Did you get the color one?
Yeah, I got the pink one, okay.
He got the pink one, and
Good morning.
good morning. We've never done anything like this, so I'll do the best I can. Thank you
Sure
for
you will.
seeing us. I wanted to just make sure that you had, I made sure you guys saw the comps that I pulled from your website, or the website, and then the information on the original appeal that just has some of our kind of particular notes that we were looking at. But our increase went up $149,700. So it was kind of a little bit of a sticker shock to us. But our grounds for appeal are really that we don't feel that this is anywhere near a true market value of what we could even sell our house for. The comps that I pulled from the website, the highest price comp, which is a house that's most like ours, I guess I would say, but it's 700 square foot bigger and has 3 full baths. We don't, we have 2.5 baths. That house is the closest to ours, and that one did sell, I think, most recent, March of 2020, and that was $270,000. The big difference, though, is that we are not, we're the first house you're looking at today we're not in a subdivision. We are on a unpaved road that we have to maintain. Unfortunately, our neighbors are not willing to contribute, so he has a tractor and we maintain it and put gravel on it and that kind of thing. So it was very hard. I couldn't find any other comp that was on an unpaved road like ours. These 3 comps are all on a paved county-maintained road.
With county utilities.
With county utilities as well, which, we're on a well, we don't have the fire hydrants, any of that stuff out where we are. As you can see, most of our lot is wooded, but the house is there in the middle, kind of pie shape. But that's really, I couldn't find any other comps that were similar to our house. There's way bigger houses on unpaved roads, way newer houses, but this was the closest. These 3 comps that you have here on our appeal was the closest I could find. I don't know I have no idea what the county used. I don't know. I know there was a house that sold I think it's about 2 miles from us, 2.5 miles. But that house, I actually went on Zillow and looked at it, and that house has all new bathrooms, all new kitchen.
It's all new.
It's all brand new. So we built the house, we had the house built. It's a modular home. So I don't know if I couldn't find a comp that was exactly that. But it's a modular home,
Unupdated.
and no renovations in the 20 years we've been there. So we haven't done bathrooms or anything like that. As far as I know, nobody came into our house to look at it, so that wasn't obviously considered.
Well, there's still an unsold lot comparable to ours on the road. So we see clients come in looking at it. It's for sale. They can't sell it because of the road. The road is a big issue. And I kind of take issue with that because I contacted Scott Calvin when we built the house. Because it was put in 1972 by Carolina Caribbean Corporation, and it had already been slated to be paved. It was already up to state specs, and the county has chosen to ignore it. It's one of 2 roads in the county that's not paved.
We wanted it paved, but what happened is when Mr. Calvin came to talk with us about it, one of our neighbors balked and said, I like it the way it is, and he was actually, we've had to call the police on him years ago because he came onto our property with a gun. When he actually had a friend who came and we, graded back because the ditches were there back in the 70s. The road was put in.
The loblollies grew up into the road, and I, at my expense, cleared all that. It's a
And-
1/4 mile long road. I'm sure you all know what a 1/4 mile long road means. Obviously enough of a cost that the county doesn't want to do it if they're not forced by law to. But according to Scott, it should have already been done.
So when Mr. Calvin came to look at it and said, yeah, I'll do it, he said, let me go talk to your neighbors. The one neighbor was all for it, and the other neighbor threw a fit and was very argumentative. So he said, I don't want to deal with your neighbor. It's fine the way it is.
But it greatly impacts
Right.
the resellability of this home.
The last 2 people have looked at the lot, said,
Everyone says
who pays
it.
for the road? How do you pay? And we're like, well, we do.
So
So-
it's a hunk of money, and no one in their right mind, other than us, wants to tackle it. And, so again, if you're arguing the same square footage in Lawson on pavement
Right.
with all the utilities that a subdivision brings, maybe you could see the value there, but not where it is, and not being a modular.
And we're at the end of the road. We're at the very end. You can see
Right.
from that's like where the cul-de-sac would be.
We like it, but we're
Yeah.
kind of weird, so.
We love it, out in the middle of nowhere.
Road looks good. I think you did a good job.
He did a good job.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I can understand.
You got to stay on it.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's a bunch of gravel, and, I get it. I like Scott, and I hope someday the county will, see it in their hearts to kind of bail us out of our misery, but, until that time, it's tag you're it.
Now what, Elam Road or Elam Lane, is that the dirt road you maintain?
Yes, it's off of Mini Ranch. Yes.
That's my
Off of
question.
Mini
And,
Yeah.
so what do you think the value of your home and property is?
Well, when we refied, it was right around 230, but I know that's low. I'm thinking somewhere between 250 and 270 would be an accurate guess.
I mean, the comp that sold was, like I said, 2,000 square foot, or I'm sorry, 2,400 square foot. Ours is 1,718. It's a cape with a kind of story and a half, so that's a little bit high, but again, I mean,
Any outbuildings, garages?
Yeah, well, there's a pretty good sized garage on it, which is kind of what we think the appraiser used as an offset to go between the 230 and 270. But again, as you know, garages don't bring you a bunch of money when you resell a house, no matter how big they are.
yeah.
So, the square footage thing, I'm sure there's value in that garage. What it is to me versus what it is to a buyer is,
I always tease him, the garage is the garage bigger than the house?
yeah, well, that's why we picked out there, because that's, what I like to do, and, we get it. But from a value point of view, and I probably will get an actual appraisal done here shortly. I just haven't done it.
Well, we don't need it, we're not selling, so
Well, no, but I mean, it'd be good to know. I know things have changed, and I get that,
it's gotta go up from where it was.
yeah, what we built, and we're not arguing, it shouldn't be more, but this figure here is like, there's just no
Almost
way.
$150,000 increase.
Yeah, there's just no way you could sell that house for 340. You couldn't. And we run into people looking at those lots all the time, and that's the first thing, oh, this is beautiful out here, but that road, you know, and that does impact sellability greatly.
And let me just say this, there are 2 people, there are 6 lots on ours. The 2 lots did sell, that are up by Mini Ranch,
They
but
got
they're not using our road.
Paved
They're
for-
using Mini Ranch as their driveways.
And I think that was the big impetus, driving up the value, was those are monster homes right
Oh, yeah.
out there on Mini Ranch,
Gotcha.
which
Well,
Mini
let's
Ranch
see
is,
if they have
yeah, okay.
All right. Any questions? Ray?
The only
Oh.
question I got on the garage.
Yes.
Is it I mean, I can't see it from the pictures, I don't think, is it a large detached garage?
Yes.
In the back or
Deep.
something?
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah.
It's completely separate from the house,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
How many
separate.
square feet's the garage?
It's 30 by 40.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Ray? Mike? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
To hear from the county now. Good morning.
Good morning. You beat me to it. Elam Road is off of Mini Ranch. It's in the southwest corner of the county, real close to, well, it's Maggie Robinson's on the bottom side. I'm kind of jerking it around, sorry about that. The owners state that it is on an unpaved road. You've seen the picture. We see this situation throughout the county. It's growing, but it's not fully non-rural. We have roads that are unpaved. We have parcels that do not have sewer and water. So this is not unique to the county. I have submitted to you a comparable sales report with 3 modular sales from 2020, all in the Parkwood High School area. The closest one is less than a mile on Waxhaw. I don't have the full address, but it's within a mile of the subject, and 2 more, one on Harkey, one on Nesbitt Road. The comparable sales report suggests the value should be $349,100, and we think this supports our opinion of value at $329,600.
Ray, any questions for the county?
Yeah, I'm looking at that report you just referred to. The subject land value is 83.8.
Yes, sir.
The other's going across at 70, and one's at 33. Am I reading that right?
You are, and they're adjusting for it in the report, so it's going to, they're inferior to the subject, so we're going to, the compar's going to increase the value, so it's going to come up to the difference between what the comparables are and what the subject is to bring it into a value,
Oh. Okay, so
similar to what a fee appraiser would do.
you just said that you're at 329, is it?
Yes, sir. 329.6.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Dutch, anything?
Kind of hung up on this garage a little bit.
Sure.
How much additional value is on that garage?
Calculator.
Hers, that was 40 by 30 garage? 40 by, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
21.5.
That was my main question.
I got one.
Yeah. Excuse me, I jumped ahead of Ray anyway, sorry.
One last question is, you mentioned earlier that there are situations like this throughout Union County. Has anyone else come in disputing the value because of a situation like this with the road, access road?
We see this frequently. We saw it a couple weeks ago with a landlocked parcel. It wasn't improved. It was a vacant parcel. We saw that out in the Marshville area where he said he was landlocked.
That was Derek Hodge. I don't know if you remember that. He had that little sliver of land that he swapped with a neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, I know the one on the Nesbit Road has a paved highway out in front of it.
Sure.
I live down there. How about those other two that you,
I would imagine they are on hard surface roads. I do not believe, I believe Nesbit, well, I know Nesbit isn't, and then this Waxhaw Road, those are probably paved roads. There are very few sales to pull off of unimproved roads. But these are comparable in size. The largest one's just under 300 square feet larger than the home.
Okay.
Similar in age.
Let me speak generally to it. Years ago, we used to discount for properties off the road where you had to drive down a private lane or something to get to them. Problem is, when we started looking at the market, we couldn't find any difference, that people were paying lesser amounts to be off the road. This one's a little unusual in the distance, but, you know, a several 100-yard long private drive is not unusual in the county, and we have not been able to find in the marketplace that hurts value.
Okay. All right, thanks, sir.
Sir.
Tab number 11, parcel ID number 5018003A, Teresa and Michael Eubank.
Hello, Mr. Eubanks.
Good morning,
How
Board.
we doing, Mike?
I didn't send anything in, I just kind of marked up a partial sheet here to give you an idea of why I'm questioning the valuation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The little circle there I have is the parcel that's in question. And very simply, my concern is that little piece of property is valued at double what that other piece of property is you see surrounding it there. So I just don't understand what the big difference is. And maybe somebody here can tell you what it's valued at now. I think it's $34,000.
33-1.
Yeah. So you can see that's more than double what the land is that's surrounding it. And it was actually part of that larger tract at one time. It was deeded to us roughly 45 years ago. But the poultry house has been demolished. There's some debris left that the demolisher started getting rid of on Monday. The rains kind of messed him up this week. But that's basically it. I just think that the valuation's a little higher considering the value of the land surrounding it.
How many, Mike, how many acres is this?
It's 2.2 or 2.3. I don't remember exactly, I'm sure.
2.2.
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard you say the poultry houses are gone?
Yes, except for some debris, and like he started cleaning up this Monday, but yeah, everything's been demolished.
Mm-hmm. Any questions for Mr. Eubanks? Ray?
No, sir.
Dutch?
No, I'm just trying to make sure I understand what the property is. And I can get that from the county. I don't have any other questions, I don't think.
Mike, you own the adjacent property also?
No, it's family land.
Okay, your family owns that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mike? Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
We have the county now.
This parcel is located on Potter Road, about 3/4 of a mile south of the Potter Road 200 intersection. If you know where that is, heading towards Furniture Factory. Okay. During the initial appeal phase, we removed the value for the chicken houses because they are substantially down. So that reduced the value to the vacant land, $33,100. The owner came back with an appeal saying that the value should be lower. We looked at the land. It is a 2.29 acre parcel of land. It's circled, obviously. In the submitted paperwork, I've given you my vacant land sales for this neighborhood or this area. Since it's 2.29 acres, it falls within the 0 to 5 price point break. And as we can see from the last column on the right, on the top block, the prices per acre kind of fall. So the more acreage you have, the less per acre it was selling for. And right in the middle of that block, we see a 1.96 acre sold for $42,500, a 3 acre sold for $30,000. Obviously, this parcel, the subject parcel, would fall in between there. Based on these sales, we feel it's priced equitably. Down below, I've given you another little block of land values. This is the 10 to 15 acre. The owner was saying in the appeal form that an additional parcel they have is 11.37 acres, and saying that this parcel, the 2.92 acre, that parcel was priced much higher per acre than the 11 acre parcel. And what we can see is, again, the more acres you have, the less price per acre in the sale price. So we suggest our value of $33,100 is a good value.
Mr. Eubanks, come back to the speaker if you would. I'll call you back in a minute. Just don't leave me. Should ask you two questions.
Okay.
Does this have a deeded right-of-way to this property?
Yes.
Okay. Number two, what do you think the value is?
I think it should be the same as the adjoining land. Like I said, it was part of that property 45 years ago. And the owners have passed. My mother-in-law most recently.
Right.
So we haven't did everything with the estate yet, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out. So chances are that's gonna be ours as well. But regardless, we feel like the only thing different about that 2 acres than the bigger lot is it does have a well on it. But otherwise, there's just no reason in our mind to think it's worth twice as much as the adjoining land.
So what's that value? What's your number?
That other lot would be $66.50 an acre.
So you're saying around, what, 18 or so? Or is that the math?
Well, I can't do the math, but yeah, that or somewhat less, whatever the 2.3 is, times that amount.
15 or so?
Yeah.
It's 2.3 acres.
2.3, yeah. Be 14 change?
Yeah. I don't have any other questions.
Calculators?
Excuse me?
Do you need a calculator?
No, we kind of got in my head and I was a little high.
Yeah.
I went to Parkwood like Mike did, so we struggle. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Any questions for the county? I'm sorry, I got out of order there, but I failed to ask Mike the questions. Brad, you got any questions for the county, Dutch?
I do not.
Mike? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Tab number 12, parcel ID number 06012-018, Travis and Jennifer Cook.
Good morning, Mr. Cook.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing?
I hope you're doing well.
Good. First, the tax assessor's office has my property valued at $358,800. The total square footage is 2,186. That comes out to $164.14 a square foot. The highest comparable recently sold properties on the county's own website is $28.08 less per square foot than my property. That parcel being 06012210, valued at $136.06 a square foot. The highest comparable property most recently sold to January 1, 2021 was for $134.02 a square foot. You can find this on the market analysis I provided. So either way, by the county's own evaluation or the actual sales, the county has my property overvalued by at least $28 a square foot. The most recently sold ranches are valued at $132.52 and $136.06, parcels 06012161 and 06012210, which were sold in November and December. These homes are ranch homes just like mine. Second, the tax assessor has my physical piece of land overvalued. My neighborhood is Greenbrier. There are 206 lots in the neighborhood. 73 lots are valued at $82,500. 133 lots are valued at $64,900. The builder in the neighborhood, for marketing purposes, has is saying that the neighborhood is 3 different neighborhoods, but it's all the same neighborhood under the same homeowners association. The lots in my part of the neighborhood are valued at $82,500. There are 23 lots in my neighborhood that are larger than my lot, but valued for less. These lots are the ones included in the documents I provided. The largest lot is parcel 06012059. It's over 8/10 of an acre, with an assessed value of $64,900.
Which property is that? What's the address of the property you're using as comparable?
It's 060, hold on. Let me look it up. I got it in here somewhere.
I think it's the very last one in the book.
The very last one? Okay, some more. Gotcha.
It's going to be 1822 Tendril Avenue.
Continue on. Yes, sir.
Okay.
My pleasure.
The tax assessor, let's see, I was at 8/10 of an acre for $64,900. The tax assessor has my .389 acres at $82,500. So a lot that's double the size of mine is valued at less. Before the reevaluation, all the lots were treated exactly the same and valued at $38,000. I'm not saying that $38,000 now, but they were all treated the same. 3 parcels, 0601 2014, 0601 2015, and 0601 2016, all back up to the woods and neighborhood common area, just like mine. In fact, they back up to the same woods that my property does. I can see all these lots from my backyard. These lots are .417, .482, and .4610 acres. All lots that are larger than mine, but valued for less. So I think that my property is overvalued by at least $28 a square foot, and that the larger lots are all valued at more than mine. So, I mean, common sense would say that a larger lot would be valued for less. That's all I got for y'all, gentlemen.
Ray, you got any questions for Mr. Cook?
Yeah, what are you saying your value should be?
The total value, based on the highest comp, it would come out about $297,000. That's on the highest one of recently sold.
You bought the house in 18
Yes, sir.
for $345,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have.
Did you have
I
anything?
don't have any questions on this one.
All right, anything? Thank you, Mr. Cook.
Thank you, sir.
We'll hear from the county now.
feel like I need a stool up here some days. Greenbrier is located on Potter Road, excuse me. Greenbrier is located on Potter Road, south of Newtown, north of New Salem, Mineral Springs, that kind of area of the county is where we're at. The owner did submit comps, you see that in your package. Specifically on the compa report, the homes that he submitted in that report are much larger than his house by 1,000 feet or better. Or there was one that was less than 1,000 feet. We see that when houses are bigger, they sell for less per square foot than smaller houses, than one-story ranch houses. The subject is a one-story ranch house. I submitted to you a compar or a comparative sales report with 3 one-story ranches. They are all similar in size and quality, and they support a value of $359,400. Our value is $358,800, and we suggest staying with our value.
All right, any questions for the county, Ray? Dutch?
Comps 2 and 3 are in Greenbrier too, aren't they?
On mine,
Yes.
all of them are. Yes, sir. The green arrows indicate they're just past the comparable on the main drag.
Right, okay. I don't have any other questions.
Is that a true homes community?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Mike, you got any questions? Thank you.
Okay, so now you want to go to tab number 17, they need to review the information and then
Okay, tab number 17, parcel ID number 09261015. And Joe is going to present.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the property owner was not able to attend the meeting, so they've submitted their evidence. It's in your packets for review. If I remember correctly, she has a memo outlining her issues, and then she has documentations behind that memo supporting her opinion of value. Again, that's tab number 17.
Okay.
And then after you review the information, Joe can present his side. Thank you.
It looks like to me this parcel's just holding the world together. That's right across the street from Walmart, isn't it?
Yeah, well, O'Charley's, it'll
Yeah.
be directly across from it.
Is that a gully? Is most of the land in a gully? Looks like,
There is a low area in it.
yeah.
Did she give an opinion on what she thought this property was worth?
Yes, 0.
Oh.
0.
I saw that. I saw that.
Okay. Something
But
south of 0, huh?
But I think they would be grateful for any reduction past what we have. If you'd like for me to begin, I can kind of
You certainly can, so.
put together here. Yeah, it's on the west side of Highway 74. It's about 165 feet south of the intersection of Williams Road, right across from O'Charley's there, and I think it's Discount Tire maybe. It adjoins, on the southwest side, it adjoins a parcel that's got Dollar Tree, Max, there's like a car lot that is directly beside it. This parcel is .073 acre, has 170 feet of frontage on 74, and it's only about 43 feet wide at the deepest point. When they submitted the appeal, I read their information and asked for them to get some documentation, and you'll see in your packet that they got a letter from Doug Britt, Senior Planner for City of Monroe, stating that there is no use that the City of Monroe would allow on this property, so it cannot be developed. I placed a undevelopable rate, unbuildable, if you want to say, on it, and originally we were, in the last reval, we're at $23,700. For this reval, we went up to $28,500, and after placing the unbuildable on it, it's now at $7,500.
Does she own the property directly behind it?
No.
She doesn't?
This was inherited, and it, I guess over the years, as the family sold off pieces, somehow this got, somehow, I don't know exactly how it got in this size or shape.
This property was owned by the Connell family, or near there at one time. Laddie Connell was the gentleman that owned it. Or the other property beside it or behind it.
Yeah, and they said that they had approached the adjacent landowners years ago, I think with a realtor, and tried to sell it, but there was no interest at that time. And like I say, that the two pieces, there's Adams Outdoor Advertising. As you can see, there's a billboard right behind it, but that billboard is not on the Adams Outdoor Advertising site, which is slightly north between their property and the convenience store. But they're not, none of those people were interested in, but that was years ago. I don't know about now, I can't speak to that, but they're looking for more relief than I could give them.
Okay. Ray, any questions for the county?
Yeah, just one, the taxpayer's aware that you have a 28.5 on that now? And are they aware of the
They're
reduction?
aware that, yes, they're aware that we reduced it to 7,500.
And they're asking for zero?
Zero, or somewhere, or anything, somewhere in between
Well,
there,
no.
whatever you could
It just
afford.
it seems reasonable to me that any piece of land on 74 is worth something, right?
That's why we have
Okay.
7,500.
I think you did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dutch?
And the prior, we're at 7,500, the county is at 7,500 now. The prior value was?
Was 28,500 for this revow.
It's 23.7 though, the prior.
23.7
rebound.
was the prior,
Right.
2015 is
So it's
23.7.
gone down. I mean, the value's gone down from 23
Yes.
change down to 7,500.
Yep.
I don't have any other questions.
Right.
I agree with you. Not holding the world together.
Yeah.
You know, I see this property as, the owner behind the property and them should strike a deal to me. And, if she don't want to pay taxes on the property, and I would just go ahead and deed it to them, since, but that's just my opinion only. I'm not sort of not the owner, but I think it has value because it keeps that particular owner, that gives the owner access to Highway 74. Or the owner behind him, I should say. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Robert, we want to rule these up in cases we heard, or we want to go to the other staff recommendations?
Mr. Chairman, my advice to the board is that we just start with number one
Okay.
and roll through the agenda, you know, number
I
by
like
number.
that.
So then in starting that off, we'll go into deliberations. Hearing number one was 07054-702. The property owner is Lisa Dunleavy.
Notes I had on it were just with the quality of grade and maybe what good minds could do to the value. on that one.
Also, they had a big difference was the 1,500 square foot basement.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
Any thoughts or recommendations?
well, and kind of keeping in mind what she just paid for, the appraisal. I know there were some differences in the appraisal. If the grade was adjusted to good minus, what, do you know about what that would do?
I've asked Bradley to schedule values, which give me the percentage difference. I would ask, whatever adjustments you make, I would prefer you don't go with grades, because we are uniform within that neighborhood. That
Right.
brings them in equity from this point forward. For my personal preference, whatever value you determine, I just wish you would go that
Okay,
direction. to
okay,
avoid there.
yeah, thank you, thank you. And one thing I'm trying to remember on this one too, is how the basement was accounted for in the appraisal that she had versus what the county, wasn't there something that was,
Just speaking from memory, I believe they were adjusting about $25 a foot, or we were adjusting closer to 65.
that's it, okay.
Phil, on the basement, seems to be the big bone of contention here, is it, if it's finished or unfinished, does that make a difference?
Oh, definitely. We have run price studies across the county. We find that finished basements sell for about 70% of what the above grade square footage runs. The unfinished, we just take a cost from Marshall and Swift. It's $20 a square foot or something.
Is this-
$23, $24.
Is this a finished basement, do you know?
I believe there's a bit of both.
I think that,
The vast majority is finished. It's looks like maybe a utility room that's unfinished.
okay, thank you.
I'm not putting any math behind it, but just taking into consideration what she paid for it when she bought it, taking into consideration the market. She bought it in June, recognizing what the market's done between June and December. I mean, something in the 525 range, 500 to 525 range, kind of. Yeah, I'd like to see what the board thinks about that.
I'm not recommending, but I am suggesting that, and that was my number. I think, you may disagree, I think you got a pretty good buy, based on, the square footage you got, even though I know the home didn't sell for several years. I think the market has increased. I don't agree with your appraised value now, but I don't agree with this county going $100,000 more. So I think, I'm suggesting that we go to 525. And y'all can,
Ray, Mike, y'all have any questions? I'll make the motion, we adjust the value as close to 525 as feasible.
We can get directly on it.
Yeah, we can get
Okay.
directly on it, just make the motion, we get to 525 on the value.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Ray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that takes us to tab number 2. The parcel number is 070547747. The property owners are Janet and William Moore.
For as close as these numbers were, I just didn't have any additional notes. I know we had an appraisal, in there.
Yeah.
But, still only, what, about $16,000 apart? And, my motion would be to, remain at the county's value.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mike seconding. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
We voted to keep the county's value the same, the 375, 800. Have a good day, sir.
Mr. Chairman, moving on to tab number 3, parcel number 051655036. Property owner is Glenn Roberts.
I just got some issues with the drainage on that lot. I understand kind of how the county has to look at it, but, he's got some drainage issues with that lot. I don't know. I reckon my question was, have we applied any, I'm trying to look for the right word, influences on lots of that nature in the past? I know we, over the years, I don't know if we did anything or not, but we've heard cases where you.
The one that comes to mind, and it's been many years ago, was a situation where a bunch of storm drainage sewers came together into a manhole.
Right.
And for some reason, that manhole blew over. The angles were not
Right.
right. And the person literally had a drainage lines erupting into their yard.
Right.
And we did something, we put a pretty heavy hand on the lot value on that one. I cannot think of any others.
Yeah, what would be the right approach, though? If we decided to do something,
I think adjustment for topography for drainage, if you were going to consider something.
Right, and it would be a percentage number.
There's two ways of looking at
Yeah.
this. We could do it just on the land, or we could say it's severe enough to impact the value of the land and the improvements.
Right.
I think that's a decision each gentleman would have to make.
Yeah, and we could just apply a percentage would be.
If we're going to make an adjustment, that would be my preference. That way it would roll forward with the home into
Right.
the future, or if we just did a dollar adjustment as we moved through a different reval, that would disappear.
Well, didn't he say that there had been no damage as far as the structure of the house?
That water gets
That
up
you,
against it.
it's on a slab?
Yeah, it's on the slab. Water gets up against it, but I don't think he was aware of any damage that it's done. I'm just,
So you can make a percentage adjustment to the land value? Since Mike said there's no damage to the house, this is something that probably can be fixed.
I don't know. I'm looking at a picture of it. It was just
If you want, I could bring it back up on
Yeah,
the.
yeah, it was just an odd shaped lot and had a steep, like, berm in back of it.
Yeah. Yeah, this was, he had something derogatory to say about his property, remember that?
Yeah.
See what angle you can find to get it good. Do about 180 right now. Yeah, there you go. I think that's about it.
Is that the view y'all want, or you want me to rotate it?
That's good.
Okay.
So his thoughts on the value, I'm trying to remember what he said. Do you remember?
He's, in his notes, I think it
It was
was
360? Is that-
350, but he.
That's right,
admitted that was-
350,
I
yeah.
think he kind of admitted that was on the low end.
That's right.
And then his value is at am I looking at this right? See, 453.
For the county, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just asking so we kind of stay consistent and something doesn't get skewed. I mean, if we applied like a 10% topography influence on maybe the whole thing, which would get it around 400,
It would.
yeah. Is that I mean, it doesn't, I'm trying to think how, we would remain equitable to a point, I think, in that neighborhood.
It would be, I mean, if we looked at it as having a 10% impediment to it, then yeah, it would be equitable with the others.
Right, because I just feel like that's an odd lot with some issues with it, you know, that the other property owners don't have. That's just my opinion. I mean,
You know, he bought it knowing he was getting, he got a deal, he mentioned that. But he does have to work to maintain that lot based on the berm. And then, so I feel like he would have a little bit of trouble selling this property if he ever wanted to sell it. I think he stated he didn't want to sell it.
Yeah, I was thinking, if you go 10% of 450, that's $45,000 job. That seems a little high just for this.
Well, and I'm looking too, kind of to your point and what Randy just said, it looks like he paid $377 for it in April of 2014. Is that, am I looking, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right data.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The card in front of me doesn't have a sales price on it.
Yeah, he did.
You're looking at a different, but a date.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It's 377.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking more aligned with 5%, which is 22,000 roughly.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I recommend that.
Yeah.
$22,000 adjustment, 5%.
And so he's,
Topography, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Like sign no. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, moving to tab number 4, the parcel number is 06162-564.
Now, we didn't hear 4, did we?
It's a staff recommendation.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to go down the list and knock everything out.
I had preferred to just go right down the line of what we heard and then
Okay.
come back to that.
Okay. So we'll go on to tab number 9, which is parcel number 05186-042. That's Lynn and Scott here.
The taxpayer was at 240.
And it said 250 to 270. I wrote, 250 to 270. What they thought that was.
County's at roughly 330.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to look at the difference in their comps and what the county had.
all their comps were on state maintained roads also. Remember that?
And we typically haven't made adjustments for these private maintained roads.
One time we have, but that's been many years.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, strictly within their.
Yeah. It's just a long, I mean, if that, I think you said that dirt road's a quarter of a mile long.
Again, I could bring it up on the.
Yeah.
on-
I'd like to look at it again.
I believe you're correct,
Yeah.
as I recall, it's about a quarter mile.
What's y'all's thought on the marketability? I mean, if you.
First thing, I think a Ray's suggestion want to go 5% reduction because of so you're talking about $15,000-$16,000 and based on the tax value of what the county's recommending.
Yeah,
My thoughts only.
yeah. I just think it would have, it's got some effect on the marketability of the
It
property.
does.
997.2 feet it appears.
Randy, you said 5% be about 30, no, 15?
15 to 16 grand.
Yeah,
Reduction.
that sounds reasonable.
That's just my suggestion.
So we could just put it on the number.
So you could say
Yeah, just 313 or something.
312 to 315.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if you could just give me a percentage, that would follow the house over time as opposed to putting a number on it, which would disappear next time we make a change.
So that would be,
So you want the number rather than percentage, or which?
For
Beg your pardon, man? Okay.
percentage would follow the history of the property, where a number would just be a one-time change and disappear next time we value.
so we, yeah, if we reduce it 5%, was that your number? Yeah. Yeah, I would make a motion that we reduce it, improvements total by 5%.
The land and improvements?
Yeah, by 5%.
Here's a second.
Second.
Mike seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no. All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that takes us to tab number 11, parcel number 05018-003A. The property owners are Teresa and Michael Eubank.
I was gonna look at this county comps again. The county has it, what, at 14,391 per acre? And if I'm looking at these comps right, I mean, there's a 2-acre tract, what, at 21.6 an acre. Then there's a 3-acre tract at 10,000 an acre.
If I was buying this lot, I'd want two things done, probably at his expense. Number one, I want the well checked. Number two, I'd want soil evaluation done for any kind of contamination. Not saying that he did that, but if I was buying it for residential property, so you'd want to know that there wasn't oil tanks in the ground, anything like that. So you'd have to have a environmental study done at his expense if I was going to buy it.
Well, because it was a poultry operation
Yeah.
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What was, and we may have it in front of us, what was the prior value on just the land?
24-1 to 33-1.
24-1 to 33-1. I don't know that we could just leave it the same, but I'm okay leaving it close to the same. I mean, I don't know, somewhere in that 26,000. Let me do the math. Where's this mic thing?
He thought it was 66.5 an acre, roughly 15 and change.
Okay. 15 and some change for the
What,
total.
what he thought was worth, yeah.
Right, yeah, but like,
Oh, I thought it was,
yeah. What do you think on, what are you, where are you on the number? I mean,
What was his assessment?
he had 66.50 an acre. That's 15 and change if you times it by 2.3.
That sounds
I was kind of looking at
about
it.
right to me.
Divided by 2 point.
I mean, it's had a poultry house on it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody come to look at it and buy it, that would definitely be on their mind.
Yeah, well, and
Even
I'm-
if he had a study done.
I'm trying to think back, way back, maybe when it was first operating on the, how they disposed maybe of waste then versus the controls that are there now. Is that an issue or not, or?
Well, I don't know what was done down there, but
Right.
I mean, but it used to be a situation where you didn't burn them, you buried them.
Right.
And,
Right.
they can be some lingering things. I don't, like I said, I don't have any idea what they done on their farm.
I was, I'm around the $26,000 number. I mean, that's 11.3 an acre. So it's a slight increase from, where it was before. I mean, it went from 24-1 to 33-1. And looking at the comps, some are under that number and some are over that number. And the consideration with the prior use of it and the issues he may have in trying to sell it. There's going to be some costs there, I think, before he can sell it, like you pointed out. So, I mean, my recommendation, I would make a motion, we reduce the value to $26,000.
It's 26.5,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
You recommend that, you second it, Ray?
Yes, 26.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign, no?
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, that takes us to tab number 12, 06012-018. The property owners are Travis and Jennifer Cook.
I think Ray brought it up. I mean, he paid $345 for it in February of 18. And I know he's looking at surrounding properties, but of course, his opinion of value is $275.
I got 297.
And, okay.
That's what I have too.
Beg your pardon?
I said 297.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, excuse me, I'm on the wrong one.
That's right.
We're on
We're
12.
on number 12.
Yeah, I'm right. And his current value is 358.8. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't, Yeah, I make a motion, we leave the value as is, you know, based on what I'm seeing here with these comps. Unless y'all have other questions.
Do I hear a second?
Did you say leave it alone?
Yeah, my motion was to leave the value
Okay.
at its current level.
Ray seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
And then the last one that we heard today was tab number 17. That parcel number is 09261-015.
I suggest we leave the value at the county's recommendation at $7,500.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It has value, you know, based on the adjacent property owner. At some point, probably would like to have it.
Where the point goes into that property owner, whoever owns that, I think it's. I'll make a motion, we leave the value at $7,500 as the county has it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you. All right, Robin, let's take your order again. Number 4.
Let's go back to the top. Yes, sir. So tab number 406162564 is an accepted staff recommendation.
I'll make a motion, we accept the value as outlined in the agenda.
Second.
Ray seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. It passed.
Tab number 506054120, this is an accepted staff recommendation.
I make a motion, we accept the staff rate.
Mike makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Dutch second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 6, parcel number 060546220 is an accepted staff recommendation.
Make a motion, we accept the values as outlined in the agenda.
Second.
Dutch recommended. Ray second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 7, 09354-109 is an accepted staff recommendation.
Recommend we accept the staff recommendation.
Okay, Ray made the motion.
Second.
Second by Dutch. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 8, parcel number 09408-075C is an accepted staff recommendation.
Make a motion, we accept as presented.
Dutch made the motion.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 9, we already voted on. Tab number 10, 05138-073. The property owners are Sherry and Bernie Mumford. Let the record show that the taxpayers failed to appear.
Make a motion, we make no change in value.
Second.
Second by, I made a motion by Dutch, second by Ray. All in favor? Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
11 we voted on, 12 we voted on, tab number 13, 02058-007B is an accepted staff recommendation.
Make a motion, we accept the county's new recommended value.
Okay, Dutch made the motion.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 14 is 02139-010A. It's an accepted staff recommendation.
Which one, that one?
I'm sorry, 14?
14, okay. I
Yeah,
got a little ahead of
02.
myself. Okay, 14.
Make a motion, we accept the staff rate.
All right, Mike made the motion.
Second.
Second by Ray. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 15 is parcel number 02242-083, and it is an accepted staff recommendation.
Make a motion, we accept.
Dutch made the motion.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Like sign no. Thank you.
Tab number 16 is parcel number 09381-054, and it is an accepted staff recommendation.
Make a motion, we accept as presented.
Dutch made the motion.
Second.
Second by Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
Okay. We voted on tab number 17, so our last hearing of the day is staff recommendations. These are changed at the informal level. So if you want to review, the documentation in 18, I'm sure Phil can answer any questions on it.
Recommend accept the staff.
What's an informal level?
We can't change values once the board convenes.
Okay.
So these are, the appeal comes in and we try to work out stuff because the taxpayer gives us information and everything. And we've changed the values, but they still have the right to continue their appeal, but we can't change those values
Okay.
without your approval.
Okay.
So what that means is you'll approve the staff to make these changes. They'll send the letters out to the taxpayer, and the taxpayer can still appeal to you directly for hearing or
Right.
accept this value.
Right.
So,
Whereas the other ones, they've already been agreed
Right.
on. Okay. I make a motion, we accept all these informal staff recs as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign no. Thank you.
That ends our agenda today, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Robin.
Do we still have scheduled hearings for tomorrow night? Yes, we do. Okay, so tomorrow
4:30?
at 4:30.
Yeah.
And next week,
Have you got quite a few?
No, sir. It's pretty light.
What you gonna bring for
I think
dinner tomorrow night, Dan?
Oh, okay.
That's the least you could do.
We'll go down to 5 points.
Gift certificate to Chick-fil-A or something?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
next week is
okay.
Beg your pardon?